Hi,
Okay.
guys.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm gonna,
sorry.
I'll welcome it. You're fine. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our call. We're super excited here. We have Erin Hopkins, who is a 7-star elite coach. And I'm really excited for this call because I don't really know Erin at all. And so please, I have so many questions because you are like queen. I hear the best of the best things about you. So I have so many questions. But Erin, why don't you just start off by telling us a little about yourself? And then we'll get started in the Q&A.
Awesome. Hi, guys. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for getting up early and getting on. I know it's 9 o'clock is a lot for the West Coast. So just a little bit about me. I've been coaching for about 3 years. And it really starts with way before Beachbody. I had a lifetime of body image struggles and emotional eating and disordered eating. And then I went to college at Virginia Tech. I moved to Charleston, South Carolina with my then boyfriend, now husband. And I got into corporate marketing. So, check the boxes, go to college, check, get a job within your major, check. And I found myself just super depressed, having a really hard transition into adulting, 50 pounds overweight, battling depression. And I remember the moment, of course, we all have that moment where I was on Facebook and I was at a friend's rehearsal dinner that previous weekend. And it wasn't even a picture of me. I was just in the background of this picture. And I'm like, gosh, that girl has the same dress on as me. Because I didn't even realize it had gotten to that point. The weight had just been creeping up for so long and I was in denial about it. And I had that moment. And, everybody gets sick and tired of being sick and feeling sick and tired. And so that was my moment. I decided to make a change. I had no money. I have no idea. I think I had Christmas money from my parents and Christmas money from my in-laws. And I hired a personal trainer and I said, we're doing this. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. And I did, which is amazing and such a cool part of the story. But what's way cooler about that is where I found my passion. That is where I found my purpose. And I knew what I was supposed to do with the rest of my life and that I had to pay that forward. So I quit my corporate marketing job, which, that's every father's dream after he pays for your college education. And I said, I'm going to be a personal trainer. And I was a good one. I got every certification I could. I was loving it. I cared zero that they were paying me nothing in comparison to what I was making them. That didn't even matter to me because I was just loving the work and obsessed with helping people. And I had kind of become a transformation expert. And I was taking, clients at 5 a.m., 10 p.m., how many people can I help? This is so much fun. And of course, if anybody has a fitness background, gyms treat you terribly, they pay you terribly, you're burning the candle at both ends. It just becomes horrible. In that time, I got married, and 4 years later, my husband and I decided it's time to start a family. And that was always I was always going to be wanting to be a stay-at-home mom. I always wanted to have a lot of little kids back to back. I'm a baby person. This was always part of the plan. But we thought with that plan that I could also be a part-time trainer or something. So we got pregnant, spontaneously pregnant with twins, which was a huge surprise and completely insane. And it was a high-risk pregnancy. And yeah, so it took me out of work for a little bit, which is fine. Obviously, I was blessed with these beautiful identical twin girls, Riley and Quinn. And then very shortly after, I had another little girl. So I had 3 little girls under 3. And from the outside looking in, all my dreams came true. Everybody knows I'm a baby person. I wanted them back to back. I got 3 in under 3 years, insanity. I wanted everyone to make sure that they knew that I got this. I live in a nice house. It literally has a white picket fence around it. I drive a nice car and my kids are cute. So everybody thinks that my life is really great, right? What they didn't know is that I was completely paralyzed with postpartum anxiety and depression. My husband and I were in therapy. And I thought for sure, this isn't going to work. We were barely speaking, couldn't stand each other. And it was all me. I was just a shell of myself. I'm supposed to be keeping this whole operation afloat and I was falling apart. And faking it for everybody, which makes it so much worse because we just need to ask for help. There was so much shame in how much I was hating being a mom. Obviously, I love my children more than anything, but there's so much shame wrapped up in that. And so now I think it's so important that we're talking about it and that women know that that's normal and that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and you just need to get help. So that was all going down. And I had told myself that when my littlest was 1, I would go back to training. And I tried a couple times. My husband would be like, maybe you need to get back to work. Like, you love training people, you love teaching classes. And so I'd be like, okay, let's do it. And I would like pick up a class at the studio, and I would pay a babysitter for 2 hours. I would go teach for 1, and the babysitter would make more than I made. And then I would have like a panic attack about my kids getting off schedule. Like, I mean, it was just so bad on all levels. My husband calls it charity work. He's like, I don't care if you have to do charity work, meaning go teach classes. Like, if it's going to make you better, let's do whatever's going to make you better. How can we get you help? Nothing was working. Everything was awful. I was falling into really bad emotional eating and binging, like the old Erin. And I was drinking entirely too much. Meanwhile, an acquaintance of mine at the gym that I always worked at, she owned the Pilates studio. So I knew her, I respected her, I thought she was awesome, but we absolutely weren't friends. She was just an acquaintance. I was seeing her take her platform online. And again, I totally respect her, and she was like so legit in my eyes. And it's Moira Casaba, she's my upline coach. And so I was watching her on social media, and I was just like, what is she doing? Because any Beachbody coach I had ever seen was like doing like T25, like really cheesy. And like she was doing it differently in a way that I could get behind. And I didn't know it was Beachbody at first. I'm like, oh my gosh, did she like write a program and take it online? Like, what is she doing? This is so cool. And then I finally figured it out. And the old version of myself talked a lot of shit about her. Like, oh my gosh, she went to the dark side. How could she do that? There's no way she's making the money that she says she's making. Meanwhile, I am literally I've already apologized to her about all of that, by the way. We're good. But meanwhile, I'm like stalking her social media. I am so incredibly jealous of this amazing community that she's built. There's like women around her dining room table with their laptops, like doing something that had nothing to do with their group of moms, doing something that had nothing to do with their kids. And I was like dying a slow death of jealousy in my like postpartum anxiety hole. And again, emotional eating and binging and drinking too much. And she had been reaching out to me monthly, of course. And at first I just shut her down. I told her this is a conflict of interest. I don't do shakes. Absolutely never. I don't believe in Beachbody, and would never do that. And she just didn't give up on me. So every month I would either ghost her or say no. And then I would have anxiety about ghosting her. Like, oh my gosh, what if I run into her at Whole Foods and I like didn't respond to her message? That would be awkward. So I would only respond to her message because of that and tell her no. But I said no for like 7 to 9 months. And then finally I started seeing trips and all that. And like, just like the jealousy just kept getting more and more and more. And just like, I don't know if y'all follow Glennon Doyle, but she always says, go where you're envious. And I had just read her book, and I remember sitting down with my husband and then separately one of my best friends, and was like, oh my gosh, this Beachbody thing. And my best friend, who I thought was going to be like, oh my God, please don't be one of those people, was like, it's kind of perfect for you. Like, you're a fitness person, you don't want to leave your kids, but you want to work. Like, Moira's killing it. And then I sat down with my husband, and I thought he was going to also say no. And he was like, you owe it to yourself and you owe it to us to give this a try. Because what people didn't know, besides they obviously didn't know about the anxiety, they didn't know about the marriage problems, but they also didn't know that the day we got pregnant with our 3rd child, my husband lost his job. Literally, peed on a stick, got a phone call, lost my job, like awful. And we decided, instead of just like finding the next thing, that he was going to find the next right thing. So he wanted to start a business, and in any other job in the world, like, we are so lucky, it's insane, because when you start a business, you don't get paid for like years unless you're us. And so we didn't collect a paycheck for 2.5 years for a family of 5. So completely depleted savings account. And again, everybody thinks we're good. Nice house, nice car, cute kids. Everybody thinks we're great. We are depleted savings account, begging our parents for money. And I know I'm so grateful that our parents were able to help us in that moment. But like, that is soul crushing, like soul crushing. And of course that didn't make the marriage thing any better. And so I finally called Moira, and I was like, hey, nobody knows that I'm not okay, but I'm not okay. And I don't want to talk about coaching, but I just need you to help me get back on track myself. And I'm so embarrassed that I'm this like transformation expert and I cannot figure this out. And I just need your help. And she's like, yeah, girl, come on, like join my boot camp. So I joined her boot camp. You know, I did 21 Day Fix Extreme because I thought that 21 Day Fix would never be hard enough for me, which is hilarious. Like the ego, man, that started this journey was insane. But I got amazing results, lost 20 pounds in 2 rounds. And on day 5, my life changed. Only took 5 days. So day 5, my husband's like, you're kind of okay today. We're kind of okay today. Like, this is kind of okay. And it just started getting okayer every single day, starting at day 5. And on day 5, I knew that I had to share. And I didn't want to build a team, and I didn't want to post on social media, and I didn't want to be a Beachbody coach. I didn't care about any of that, but I had found a solution, and that I knew that I had to help other women who were silently struggling, period. And so I just like texted my mommy group. I texted my high school friends. I texted my college friends. And then I like hit SC10 and Moira's making a big deal and shouting me out. And I'm like, that's fun. Like, what is that good? Like, that's so fun. And that's how it all started. I watched in month 2, I watched what was possible financially. I started seeing that like this actually wasn't just about me, that I could actually change what's happening with the financial disaster that we're in. And so month 3, I think it was, whatever August was, I signed up in June. So that's month 3. Moira asked me to be on her Team Cup team, which is so funny because we're doing Team Cup. And she said, and I knew nothing about anything that's going on. And she's like, hey, I want to win Team Cup. Like corporate doesn't know who we are, but they're going to after this month. And she was a brand new coach. Like we're all brand new. No one knows who Moira Kazab is at this point. And she's like, what it's going to take is SC50. And I honestly, guys, I had no idea that that was good or if that was hard or, you know, and I'm like, I want to be a part of this. Like, it was like FOMO. Like I wanted to be, it was about the community. I wanted to be in her crew. I'm like, I am in. And so in that month I hit SC64 in month 3 and I saw paychecks come in and I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry. Do I need to censor myself, Sydney? Okay. I saw paychecks come in and I was like, I see what I can do. I saw Moira hitting 6 figures at the year mark. Beachbody guarantees no level of success. But I watched that happen and I was like, if she can do that, I can do that. And I literally like, there's so much more to this with like walking through the fear and caring what other people think and all the times I almost quit and all of that. But what happened in the last 3 years is like, I supported my family of 5, just me, for 2 years. Now our situation's totally different. My husband has an amazing job and my income is just a supplementary income that we use for fun and houses and whatever we want. Our situation is totally different. But the fact that I had the power as a marketing girl who used to make $25,000 a year, or a personal trainer who got paid shit hourly, and to somebody who could like be a boss and change the landscape of our family. It's powerful and it's available to everyone, and it's unbelievable that Beachbody gives us the power to make that kind of a change in our lives. And now, of course, it's way cooler that my coaches are doing that I have, 6-figure earners in my downline, and that we are all running together and changing our stories together. Because I can tell you, I've been doing this for 3.5 years, and we're all just completely different people. And it's because of this, and it's just so incredibly awesome.
I seriously have the chills, and that was like so many good takeaways. I do love this too. Go where your envy is. It's so smart. Okay, questions that you guys have. I'll let you guys kick off questions, and then I have some as well that I'll weed in. You guys can take yourselves off mute too.
Oh my God, Danny Hopkins. Where are you? You better show me your face. Yes. Oh, hi, Taylor. Oh my gosh, Danny and I are the Hop Guy. Hopkins, plural.
I have a question. Hi, Erin. Thank you for sharing your story. Can you tell me, did you ever find yourself, let's say you're where you want to be with your business, everything seems great, and then coaches quit, they come back, they quit, they come back, and you find yourself totally rebuilding. Like you find yourself in a spot where you thought you had all these great coaches, and then a lot of them decided it wasn't for them, and then you had to basically start from square one?
Every single January.
Uh-huh.
Every single January and currently. I mean, I think it's just part of the business, and I think it's important that we all talk about it. I remember it was actually a session that I wasn't in. I remember Moira telling me that Lindsay Matway spoke at this, and this is when like 3 years ago, when like coaches were leaving, all that jazz, the bod revolt. And I remember Moira telling me that Lindsay Matway spoke on. She was like, how many people have lost 5 diamonds? Or everybody stand up, sit down if you've lost 5 diamonds, sit down if you lost 10, 15, 20, everybody's like sitting. And she stood up there and she lost 67 diamonds. And I'll never forget that. And I think about that all the time because yes, oh my gosh, my elite team, I'm 3-time elite. My elite team every year, with the exception of like 2 or 3 people, well, it just shifts. It's always different. It's so funny. I just went in 2-star qual for my second business center. I think I've popped 6 diamonds in that second business center, but they've come and they've gone and they haven't gone at the same time. And people are like, oh my gosh, Erin, why is your second business center just going 2-star? I'm like, I know, right? Like it's the worst. But yes, I think about it every single year as a rebuild. This is my 2020 elite team. Who is it going to be? And it's hurt my feelings, and it's been a really hard lesson. One of my best friends was one of my pre-Beachbody best friends, was one of my diamonds, and is no longer coaching at all. I canceled her coach account. There's a lot of heartbreak around that. But it's not a reflection of me. And I totally understand that a lot of people, that this business really, I mean, anyone can do this business, but this business isn't for everyone. And it's just our job to show them what's possible and meet them where they are. But I have struggled. I am super sensitive, and I care deeply what other people think. And that is something that I'm working on every day in this business. But yes, I'm rebuilding constantly. And I think everyone is. And if they tell you they're not, they're just like not being honest.
What do you find works best for finding new coaches each year or whenever, constantly, basically?
So the first 2 years I went elite, it was all with warm market coaches from my challenge group. I'm a challenge group focused coach, and I have watched so many of these ballers come in and just like run sneak peeks and put them in the funnel system and convert them. And like, I so desperately want to find that magic and be that person. But the truth is that I crush it in the challenge group, and I've built a cool community, and my team as a whole has, not just me, but like I'm a part of a cool community. And if I can make them fall in love with this the way that I felt on day 5, they'll be a coach. And so whenever I'm like, oh, I'm rebuilding, or I go straight to my challenge group and get people results and make them fall in love and get them off their anxiety meds and get them, naked in front of their husband again, and get them not depressed and get them feeling good. And, I feel like that is always the key for me. And so for 2 years, literally warm market. Like if you scroll back on my Instagram, it's horribly embarrassing. I knew nothing and I didn't care. Like I was sharing, but I was just sharing for my warm market people. I wasn't trying to make anything pretty, or I don't know. I didn't care. And then the last year I was like, oh man, maybe I should have been like building this cold market the whole time, because now I'm out of people. I literally do feel like I was out of people. It was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that I had gone through in my warm market. And so I had to change everything up last year, every single thing that we did. And I became somebody who runs sneak peeks every single week. I mean, I did all the things that I said I would never do. I posted, somebody's on my doorstep. Let's see what happens here. I posted things like fitness influencers wanted. like things I said I would never do, but I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that, but I also like want to have the same success that everybody else is having. And so I have to be willing to do, y'all, literally somebody's ringing my doorbell. Hold on, I'll take you with me. Hi.
Hi, I'm the real estate agent. I'm sorry, the real estate appraiser.
Okay, come on in. I'm sorry, I'm on a call.
Oh,
So
that's
can you
okay.
just make your way around?
I can.
Awesome, thank you. Forgot about that. Okay, we're back. And so last year I teamed up with 2 of my sister coaches. This is actually a pretty good story. So Moira always let me in her sneak peeks. So we would run sneak peeks together, meaning Moira would fill a sneak peek and I would like bring my like 1 or 2 challengers that were excited into the sneak peek, and we would share our stories and do our thing. And I never had pressure there because I knew that she was going to fill it. So it wasn't like, okay, we have a sneak peek on Thursday. Let's get the people in, you know, because I had this like cushion. And then one day, it was January of last year, actually, she was like, hey, I'm just going to run my sneak peeks without you. And I'm like, oh, how dare you say those things to me? Like, you're kicking me. I mean, I legitimately have my feelings hurt. And it was the best thing she's ever done for me, because I had to be a boss and I had to take ownership of my business. And it made me do a lot of things that made me really uncomfortable. And it changed my business completely. So I started just doing the things that I started running ads. I started running sneak peeks weekly. You know, the whole time I'm like, okay, we run sneak peeks monthly and I'm recruiting about 3 coaches a month. Well, it's a numbers game. What happens if you run them weekly? Then you do 3 coaches a week and you get 12 coaches instead of 3 coaches. Like, what was I thinking? It is that simple. I also made a huge shift when I paired up with my 2 business partners. So Hannah Roberts is my best friend, but also my business partner. She is also one of Moira's personally sponsored coaches. So our organizations don't touch at all. Hannah's 2-time elite top 50 coach. Our organizations don't touch at all. So nothing I do benefits her. Nothing she does benefits me. And there's so much magic in that, but we recruit the same people and we are good community builders because we're besties. And her top coach, Katie Moore, who's also elite, she was like number 39 last year. So we all run everything together, because when I got banned from Moira's, I was like, well, I don't really want to do this alone. I feel like there is magic in like having the community and the camaraderie. Like Moira and I are really good together because you can see how much we truly love each other. And so I wanted that again. And so Hannah and Katie and I started running together. We started running our mentorship pods together because I'm like, okay, if we run a kickoff call every week, what if I only recruit 2 people that week? Well, it's okay because Katie's going to recruit 2 and Hannah's going to recruit 2. And then we're going to show up on this call with a crew. And they're going to feel a part of the community immediately. And so we totally revamped all of our mentorship systems and we started running together. And you guys, I treat their coaches like they're mine and they treat my coaches like they're theirs. And it's such a good thing because, I mean, you know how it is. It's like the mom-dad thing. Like you hear your parents say things over and over again. Like if Hannah's been drilling a point home, sign these people up as coaches, and they're not. And then I tell them to sign them up as coaches, they're going to. And vice versa. So there's been so much magic partnering with them, and we are truly running our businesses together. And it's funny, we ended last year, Katie was 39, I was 46, and Hannah was 47. And it's like not a coincidence. It's because we're literally just doing the same thing every week and holding each other accountable to that. Like we've turned it into like this formula. And that's all essentially cold market. And we do, our pods are, if you watch Moira's Getting Started Right National Waco Call, we do the same thing she does. So we bring people in, we don't add them to the team page, we don't add them to the team training. They are only in the pod and they get weekly calls with us. That's it. They get nothing else. And then once they finish their 21 days and get results and feel amazing, and we're holding them accountable to that every single day, then in month 2, we do a business kickoff call with them, which explains Success Starters, Success Club, Diamond Retreats, Punta Cana. I mean, like all the things they want to know, because we were doing that too early and it was freaking people out. So now we only let them focus on their journey the first month. They get no team training, no team page. We do encourage them to invite 3 to 5 people because a lot of reasons, Success Club A, but they don't know that. They just think they're building their book of transformations and finding accountability partners. And that's been the magic for us. Like last year was magical because of the system I just explained.
I love that. And it's so simple too. It's just like you come in, you focus on yourself, then second month we get into trainings. And first month it's who's your 3 to 5 people. So good. Okay, questions.
When you're running these groups with getting people like through a 21-day program, do you typically like recruit like at the beginning of the month and like kind of start everybody at the same time? Or do you like I kind of bring people on and like their day one is their day one? It's kind of been like my go-to, but how does that work for you?
I've done it all. And I wish that I could be like, day 1, day 21, new group, but that just doesn't work because we have too many launches and too many days, and you're doing 100 and I'm doing 6 and you're doing 8 weeks, and it just doesn't work. So I run an ongoing challenge group that I refresh every 2 months. So you're kicked out or in every 2 months. I add people in as they come in. And Katie and Hannah and I actually do that separately because, okay, I forgot to mention something. The reason it's magical is because we let our entire downline coaches into our pod. So it's not just like only my PS. If you are in my organization and you have a new coach, I'm going to get them started right on a Sunday night call. And then hopefully the idea is that hopefully they're learning how to do these getting started right calls and will eventually do their own. That part of the plan hasn't happened yet, but we are just always including our downline. So Katie and Hannah and I do run separate challenge groups because it would just be too humongous and massive and crazy. And I pretty much have new coaches come in and they are apprentice coaches in my challenge group until they hit diamond. And when they hit diamond, they're encouraged to pair up with either another diamond coach of mine or one of Katie's or one of Hannah's. Like, we're all one team, but not. And then they run their own. So also because of that, like I could probably fill a challenge group the second week of every month or something, but I want my new coaches to be able to always be adding, and that it just doesn't work for them. So I do the continuous add. We have a prep system. And then we let all of our downline coaches in until you're diamond.
Are your challenge groups ran on Facebook or the Tracker app?
The Tracker app. I've done both. Tracker app is like by far the only way I will ever do this. Or, pod groups. I can't wait.
How do you keep people engaged? And it sounds like you run awesome challenge groups. And then do you use Mompreneur or anybody else's stuff, or do you do your own?
I used Mompreneur. So Morning Meltdown was my jam. I got the most insane results in that test group. And I hit highest SC I've ever hit. And I'm like, I need help. I don't really know how to manage all this. I've never had this before. And so I went to Mompreneur and started using her templates, and my challenge group tanked. Because it wasn't me. They know that I don't talk like that. There's no F-bombs in there. There's no, they signed up with me and then I'm giving them somebody else's content. And I am like, I want people to do whatever they want. And I know that the challenge group is not the thing for everyone, but I have an assistant. She does a lot for me. She doesn't touch my challenge group because those people got a promise from me that I was going to show up for them every day and that I was going to hold them accountable every day. And it's got to be me. If she wants to do some other stuff that I don't want to do, that's great. But that is sacred to me, is the challenge group thing. So there's never been a post that hasn't been liked and commented by me personally. Is that a little ridiculous? Yes. But I also think that it's a huge part of the success. So yeah, I do recycle content. I'll post something that I posted in May of 2017 and bring it back. It doesn't have to be all something I thought up that day, but I'm constantly reading the group and constantly seeing what they need and trying to be that. So they get a like and a comment every single day that they post. And then I message them if it's your first month, you get a weekly one-on-one conversation with me via the app. And then I check on everybody monthly.
Do you write all of your own posts and post them in the beginning of the month, or you do that daily? And then do you do all your own graphics too and schedule them, or daily?
The idea is that I do them weekly, but then sometimes it just ends up being like midnight the night before, like, oh man, I gotta throw up a post. Like, I'm not a great systems person. I'm not your systems girl. But I do think that because I'm such like kind of a hot mess situation, people are like, how do you track? I'm like, they're flagged in Instagram Messenger. People are like, what? I'm like, I know, don't tell Moira. I don't even know how to use Streak. Like, my assistant does that for me sometimes. It is a mess, but for me, it's always me, and it's not a canned response. And honestly, that's just my choice. Like, that's just how I want to run this to make it feel good. And when I try to do the other thing, it doesn't feel as good to me. Not knocking anyone. If you are a master of Streak and you can just recruit these people coming in from an ad, you are my freaking hero.
Okay, so I have a question with your challenge group. So you check with them weekly or monthly, depending on how long they've been there. How are you holding them accountable? Like, are you asking them for before pictures, measurements, weight? What are your tactics with that?
Well, they get a getting started email where they set up a goal. There's a goal questionnaire in there, which is like not anything special at all. And so I have those on file. And then they get a shaker cup. God, what people will do for a shaker cup when they complete a program and send in a before and after. But really, I'm just like messaging them on the side. And, I have the same thing. It's not like everyone, I still have people who don't open the package. I still have people who don't accept the invite. But I know when I lay my head down on that pillow every night that I did everything that I told them I was going to do and more. And that's all I can do.
So good. Any other questions, guys?
Oh my gosh, I just saw that. Haley, I've never run a sneak peek. Girl, that is what is going to change your world. You got to just do it. I know it's so scary. It's the worst. But it's only the worst the first time. And then it's like, and also like, I started speaking at like some events and Super Saturdays and, this. And I swear I'm only comfortable doing that because the sneak peeks like turned me into somebody who can speak. Because when you're saying your story every single week for a year, you can tell your story. And when you're talking about like, I'm pretty good with the compensation plan. I like actually love it. I'm obsessed with like the Tetris game that we get to play with this compensation plan. It's like my hobby. And people are like, how do you know the compensation plan? I'm like, I had to talk about it in a sneak peek every single week for a year. And you just, it's just how you level up. It's just how you boss up. It's how you get good at this stuff. And yeah, you just got to get out of your comfort zone and find a friend to run it with. And that's why these masterminds are so cool. Like if you don't have an upline coach that, you can run with, or a runner in your downline that you can run with, like pair up with each other, find somebody at your level. I know that we're supposed to be, I don't know what we are here, like what, 6 to 9 stars? Like, I know you're supposed to be like, I'm an elite coach now. Like I need help. I don't want to do this by myself. Right now I'm running my challenge group completely by myself. And I mean, last night I was like, I just don't want to do this anymore. It's just so much work. But if I had to run the mentorship and I had to be like, when my energy is not that great, Katie and Hannah know they have to get up. And when they're down, I'm up. And we like hold each other to this higher standard and make each other level up, because there's no way I'm going to let them like go past me. It's like I'm FOMOing my way through this business sometimes.
Can you talk about your sneak peek briefly? Where do you run it? And do you do all live videos?
Yes. I use the Holly Hilliard method, which is on the Beachbody Champions page, 3-day sneak peek. It's like literally I do it with Hannah. I share my story. She shares her story. We share that Brooke lip off video that everybody has seen at this point, I'm sure. And then I talk about the compensation plan. Hannah talks about like what we're looking for in next steps. And then we have like albums of income, like income progressions with all the disclaimers, of course. And then, and not just ours, like our whole team. So we have like, look, this is not a coincidence. These are not like random people on the internet. These are my teammates. And then we have like an album of like all the fun we have together from trips and stuff. And so for the first 6 months of last year, that was in a Facebook group. My people don't want to be on Facebook. Like, I don't know if you guys are running into that. And then I got really tired of doing it. And so I moved it to a landing page, just in Squarespace. It's like $12 a month. It's nothing fancy. My assistant did it and she is not like a design person. And I am having the same conversion rate there. So I'm still every week when I run an ad, it's like, I'm looking for 10 women. And obviously I'm looking for whoever I can look for, right? You know, but then every week I'm sending them like one email that's like telling them about me and we're connecting. And then in 2 days after they apply, they get a letter that creates urgency. Like, hey, the kickoff call is Sunday. We need to get, like, are you in, are you out? I only have a few spots left. So I still create urgency every week because the kickoff call is every Sunday. So I need them to sign up by Friday to get them on the call Sunday, but it's on a landing page and not a sneak peek. Okay. Thank you.
So good. Any other questions on that? We good?
Walk me through how you run your ads. Okay. I'll tell you how I run my ads. It's literally like throwing spaghetti against a wall. I have wasted so much money on failed ads, and I have to do it through Ads Manager. Lately, I've been hearing that you can get it approved on like just the Instagram platform, which I prefer, but I moved to Facebook Ads Manager because I couldn't get approved. It's funny, the ad that I use, I don't even like the picture. It's not even the right preset. I think it's not great, but it worked. And once I got one that worked, I was so scared to move away from it. So the only thing I can tell you about that is I do it by audience. So I like find the age and I just do US. I was having a really hard time with the UK conversion. And I do like they also like Pottery Barn Kids because that's like, I like Pottery Barn Kids. They also like Lululemon, you know, whatever your things are. I do interests. I have to weed through a lot of weirdos to get the good ones, but there are good ones if you weed through them. And then again, really, we're just treating them like challengers in the beginning. We're only letting them come in and do the program and invite 5 friends. So it's almost like you're using ads as a recruitment tool for the business, but you're just recruiting them as challengers. And then maybe, you know, if you recruit 10, maybe 2 of them continue. So these rates aren't high. And so it's hard to say, like, I've spent X amount of money, how much of it was worth it? It's hard to like compute that right now because like, okay, maybe they hit Success Club, but are they still around? Or maybe they hit, you know, I haven't converted a lot of diamonds from that. My teammates, we have 8 elite on our team. Not my personally sponsored, but on our team, we all do the same thing. And a lot of them have converted diamonds from this. And my diamonds are always converted from challengers. I've gotten success starters. I've gotten, you know, people who are lifetime, like lifers that are emeralds that will continue to like help a couple people a month. But my real builders have been challengers.
So do you have everyone sign up as a customer first and then you convert them into a coach, like the 1 or 2? So no discount coaches, or what do you do with that?
I do discount coaches. You know, it always depends on the way my organization is set up in that moment and what my goals are. Like right now I'm about to have to build a 3rd business center. So like, yes, give me all the discount coaches. I just think the retention's better on a discount coach. I just like to, and if they want to coach, I love to be able to say, just sign people up the way that I signed you up as a discount coach. And if they didn't, then they have that issue with like, it's icky to sign people up as coaches, which we all know it's not. We all know it's actually just a better deal. But I feel like if I sign them as customers and then I want them to, if they decide they want to coach, I want them to sign up them people as coaches, they don't get it. So almost signing them up as a coach to begin with is saving you time later explaining why they need to sign people up as a discount coach.
Very smart. Okay. Last question. What is your wording when you explain the monthly coach fee?
I have a graphic. I'm happy to send it to Sydney. You can post it wherever. And then I'll pull up my notes. Like this is how. Two options. Okay. This is after I have an email, after I have a shake flavor, they are in, I am sending a cart. So I'm not freaking them out before they've completely committed. I say you have two choices enrolling, either as a challenger or as a discount coach. Coaching saves you 25% on all future orders and makes you eligible for referral bonuses. Don't freak out. You don't have to coach or anything. More of a VIP membership. Your sign-up cost is the same today regardless. Cancellation process is also the same, actually easier as a coach. It just saves you money in month 2 if you decide to continue. It's a total no-brainer to sign up for the discount. And no one says, I want to do that thing where I pay more money. And then, okay, so then after that, I immediately send the graphic that shows the $15 fee. So it shows, you know, what you pay $129. I don't even know what it says, but it says the math, like $129 as a customer in month 2, or you can do the 99 plus 115, whatever. I find the only people who have a problem with that are the people I signed up as customers. If they signed up as a discount coach, they don't care. They'll just send them as they don't even explain. They just send the link as a discount coach. I don't know.
No, I would love to see your graphic if you can send it to me and I'll post it in our thread. Perfect. Okay, so could you maybe ask her after the call for the script and the graphic? Yes, I just asked her for the graphic. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Erin. Seriously, I have a whole page of notes. This was so good and so simple too. It's just like, this is a no-brainer. This is what we do. We get focused on results, which is so refreshing to hear that. And I love that you're so challenge group heavy. I think that's something we can all look at in our business and make sure that we're reflecting that. But we really appreciate you taking your time out of your day with us. And everyone else, thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.